Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Hey guys, here we are. This is Başak.
Hi, here we are. This is Kate.
We always try to get this together, Kate. But how are we going to make this introduction? Well, it is not always great, but that's
No,
okay.
that's all right.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. It's been a busy week, but I'm very well. How are you? You're not in the
Yeah,
US.
I'm not in New York. I'm actually in Istanbul, and I'm doing very well, aside from a little bit jet lag. But today is a very exciting day.
Tis.
We have our teacher on
Woohoo!
our podcast, which is amazing. It's so incredible. It's a great feeling, even though we are in constant in contact with our teacher on a weekly basis, continue to train and learn from him. It is just such a privilege to have him in this podcast. So I want to just invite Yogi Charu to please turn on your camera
Is he
and to say
there?
hello.
Is he there?
I am here. Hello to
Hello.
everyone.
Hello.
Welcome, Yogi Charu.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
We are so grateful that you made your time. We have, of course, so much to talk with you. And this is maybe just the first of many, hopefully, to have you as a guest in our podcast. Before we delve into our millions questions, we want to make a little introduction for Yogi Charu. He's a traditional yoga, meditation, and philosophy teacher rooted in ancient Vedic wisdom. For so many years, 25 plus, he has guided students toward enlightenment and inner peace through yoga's timeless philosophy. Embracing Bhakti Yoga early on, he sought enlightenment in Himalayan ashrams, living an austere yogic lifestyle in his youth. Rigorously trained in Hatha Yoga, Pranayama, Sutras, meditation, and mudras, he delves beyond the physical, guiding students to approach yoga as a science for attaining inner peace and overcoming the distractions of the modern world. Yogi Charu is an inducted disciple of the Saraswati lineage, one of the 10 classical monk orders in India, founded by Adi Sankaracharya in the 8th century. He was induced into this lineage by Ananda Kapila Saraswati, a celebrated author on Tantra and Kriya Yoga. Additionally, Yogi Charu is an inducted Brahmin in the Bhakti tradition of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya lineage. Through online platforms, he guides students with immersive explorations of ancient yoga philosophical texts, including Yoga Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and offers a wide range of comprehensive advanced yogic trainings. Whew, there's much more than this, but this is what I have.
Thank you.
It's a lot.
A life of practice, life dedication.
Life's dedication. And, I must say, it is such a gift that both Kate and I feel the same way. I know that we met you and you become our primary yoga teacher. And more than that, also a friend, I consider you. And my question is to you, was that a karma that we met you in this lifetime?
Yes, absolutely. The universe works in, we call it chakra. The universe works in cycles. And so when we are on the Earth planet, the Earth is a subset of the whole universe. So the Earth is spinning in a chakra, a wheel. And within these wheels, right, things goes up, goes down, comes around, what goes right. So you meet certain people, and we say we have the planet karma. I think at the present moment there's about 8.6 billion or 7 billion humans on this earth. So there are many living entities on many different planets. So somehow we have the planet karma. And then us, all the people on the planet karma, We have our country karma.
Mm.
Then we have our family karma. And then we have our friendship karma. Because it's all according to vibration, right? So if you're born in a country, you have a certain vibration, you think alike. You're born on the earth, or we have the human karma, right? So we have 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes, so the human karma. And then as you vibrate, um, then, oh, I like these type of people. And then friendship karma. So yeah, so that's the karma of how we met. Right.
This word karma is thrown around so much, right? Don't you
Yeah.
think, Kate, we hear this all the time? Oh, this is this karma, and I have this good karma, I have a bad karma, right?
Right.
What is the true essence of karma?
Yeah, I don't think people really understand generally, general population, what it really means. So from the yogic perspective, what does it mean?
So karma is a law of the universe. The universe is engineered through karma. And like this is a law. We say this is a law of
Gravity.
gravity. If I let this go and it doesn't touch my hand, I'm doing something mystical. But the law of gravity.
For
So
people
once,
listening, Yogi Charu just dropped a pen. If you're just listening to the podcast.
yes.
Yes.
So that pen dropped. That means gravity is pulling that pen to the center of the earth. So that's a law, right? There are many laws we live in when we're on the earth. And the law of karma then is a law of balance to keep everything in balance in the universe. So I think it was in Isaac Newton, right? He figured it out. And one of his laws was to every action, there's a equal and opposite, equal and opposite reaction. So he that law existed before Newton took birth. But Newton's law. But anyway, what he did, it's amazing he recognized it, that there's a force in this whole universe that to every action you do, there is a reaction. So with that, then there is, we understand we are governed by the law of gravity. We are governed by the law of whatever actions we do, there's going to be a reaction, whether it is positive or whether it is negative. So that in a nutshell, that's the term, right? It's a law of the universe that keeps the universe in balance.
So, but there are, we know, we understand that from our yoga lessons that there's different types of karma.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little?
Okay, so imagine an ocean, right? So the ocean has water, it has fishes, aquatics, it has stingrays, it has dolphins, it has whales, it has algae. So that's the ocean. So the Vedic culture explains this word sanchita. Sanchita, Sanchita, Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma is the accumulation of all our actions and reactions. That's the ocean. Yes, the ocean. So we know we have this life. So if someone doesn't believe in previous lives or afterlives, then if you don't believe it, your Sanchita will be all the actions and reactions from you to birth this life. Now, the Vedic culture teaches this one life, this human form, is not our first time. the Vedic culture teaches the soul is eternal. So when you contemplate the word eternal, it means however old this universe is, billions, we existed then. That's the eternality. So that tells us, the yoga culture tells us that however old this universe, we had different bodies. And in all those previous bodies, we had different actions, different reactions. And the Vedic culture teaches there, in terms of species, there is about 8,400,000 different species. So if the soul incarnates in any of those species, it will have different actions and reactions in the different species. And so through those, all those actions, we created a hard drive of our accumulated pros and cons karma, right? The good and the bad. So Sanchita is that ocean. However, when from the first time I came from the spiritual dimension into this material universe, and how many different material planets I have lived on, whether I was a deva, a demigod, whether I'm a different, all my actions and reactions is recorded. That is called Sanchita Karma, the ocean. Now, there's a subset out of that Sanchita. So right now, all three of us and everyone who's going to listen to who's listening to the podcast, we have a human form this life. So there's another karma called Parabdha karma. Parabdha karma is karma which is manifested now. So it is like, imagine the ocean is there and a fisherman comes and throws a net. He doesn't know where he's throwing. He just throws it. And then when he pulls it up, he pulls up a whale. Or he throws his net. He pulls up a dolphin. He throws his net. He pulls up a stingray. He throws a net in the ocean, and just what comes up? Some salt water, some green algae, some fish, some one fish. So it's a so then this human form is like prarabdha. This human life is from that ocean, a scoop of the ocean of so there's so many still in our subconscious mind, but what is manifested here is one scoop out of that vast ocean, and we call it now our human birth.
It's very overwhelming, I just have to say, when you think of it visually like that. You feel like how am I surviving in this huge, it's
Yeah,
that's it's
the universe is huge.
this is true. This is true, but it's mind-boggling. Okay, so sorry, I took you
No,
off.
no, no,
So
go ahead.
after that,
So yeah, so
okay.
that's called prarabdha karma,
Mhm.
manifested karma. So on our Earth planet, we've seen many different types of prarabdha karma. One soul incarnated as a tree, that's their manifested karma. One soul manifested as a camel. One soul, their scoop of that ocean with the green algae combinations, reactions, as a butterfly. So just on our own, we can see different life forms or different species living out there, prarabdha karma. So we have the human karma. It means it is that scoop, and then it tells me, oh, prarabdha means it's going to manifest. So as it manifests, it's going to manifest in the family you're born to, your language you're going to speak, your height, right, as you grow, the
I
body,
know.
the skin complexion, right? I am African descent, so my skin is darker.
Mhm.
So you are Caucasian. Someone might have Asian. Someone might have Latino, right? So according to that scoop, that's the karma you ended up with. And then uh so so if you're born, say you're born in Japan, or like is born in Turkey. So the language, the Prarabdha karma, the language is Turkish or Japanese. I'm from Belize, so Patwa, right? Okay, right? English. So the language, the food you eat is part of your Prarabdha karma. You're born in Japan, you'll eat a lot of seafood, is that. If you're born in Belize, I grew up with seafood and so. But if you're born in like say somewhere like India, a lot of my friends, I'm vegetarian my whole life. I'm like, what? So that's the paradox. Their whole life, they've never ate violent food. Unbelievable.
Mhm.
And then yet, here's someone, I'm born on the same, we have the same age, but I'm born on another culture, so that's the Parabda karma. The
Mhm.
type of food you're going to be attracted to, the language you're going to learn, the cultural, the social and social customs. That's part of the Parabda karma. And then we start to live, and then the soul is thinking, yes, I am Belizean, I am Turkish, I am male, I am female. And then within that, there's another karma, the Sanchita Parana, and Kriyamana karma. Kriyamana karma then is the karma, you have the prarabdha, but it is the karma where you can change
Ah,
your prarabdha karma. So you're gonna, oh, I grew up in Turkey. I speak Turkish, but Bashak, you moved to America. You learned English.
mhm.
Oh, I grew up eating meat. I started to develop practice yoga. I practice nonviolent eating. I start to live like those who are born in the Vedic culture where ahimsa is practice, no meat eating. So we can change. So action, kriya means action. Kriya mana karma means we change our prarabdha karma. It's already so you have a choice, right? You
Free
have
That's my
will, we call
question.
it, right?
So is there free will? So you have this,
prarabdha karma, which you're gonna act like this, speak this, you're gonna reach this height and everything. But then free will comes in. God gives each and every one of us free will to then kriya mana karma, where I can continue to act like and this doesn't happen easier for right if someone if the soul is incarnated as a bird, the prarabdha karma, they're gonna fly, right? They have bird's eye vision. We don't have the kind of vision birds have, right? Different species have different gifts that humans don't have. If the soul goes into the fish body, aquatic, they can breathe underwater. So hard for them to change that karma to put a fish on land, very hard to survive,
Mhm.
right? You put a bird underwater, the bird can go underwater, right? They get their fish and leave, but they cannot submerge themselves there for a long time. They'll drown as well. So when you get the prarabdha karma, which is your culture, your language, your height, because we chose our parents, so we look like our parents, we act like our parents, but then we have free will. Oh, my parents, both mother and father. My father has pros, my father has cons. My mother has pros, my mother has cons. You have the free will then because both uh, conditioning are within our psyche, right? We speak and act like our parents because that's how we're conditioned. That's the parabda. But then we have free will to choose, am I going to gravitate to the pros of my mom and dad, or am I going to gravitate to the cons of my mom and dad? Like I remember my father was an alcoholic. And I remember at a young age, he said the reason I drink is because my father drank. And somehow that didn't sound right to me. This was even pre-yoga. Like, no, no, no. And so, right, I made that conscious choice.
Mhm.
And I used the free will to create, to change that pattern,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So we have free will to switch our prarabdha karma so that we can then make our future, because and that kriyamana, whatever action you're doing today is already helping you to project our future karma. So we can turn our life, the things, the pros and cons we don't, the pros we love, enhance them. The cons we don't like about our, let's transform actions so that they can be purified for future.
So this is interesting because we are saying there's an unconscious memory, right, in all of us that's coming from these past lives,
Yeah.
creating our reality today. So how one then, what type of practices one can do to, you know, use their facility to make the right choices towards, releasing that some of that bad karma?
Very good question. So
Your
look at
student.
your the way you said it, look at your bad karma as debt.
As what? As a debt?
A debt. Someone goes to school, university, if your family can't afford it, you take a loan. So when you finish school, you have that debt. Now, I can do, I can renounce work and that debt will grow, grow, grow. Or I can find a job which might pay it off in 15 years. Or maybe I get really lucky and I can pay it off in 5 years. Or who knows, maybe you hit the jackpot out of college, you got one of the most well, you can pay it off in 2 years. That's everyone that. So as you pay it off, then it depends on the type of job, yes, to pay off the debt. So then the type of actions we do to remove the debt that we have with us. So those actions we call them, the Vedic culture calls them uh, sadhana practice. Sadhana. So when someone starts to communicate with divinity, with God, when someone starts to communicate with the person who created the three modes of nature, who created the law of gravity, who created the law of karma, when you start to communicate with that being through love, that's some of the actions that we can do to then pay off that's the job to pay off the karmic debt. So if you meet, you see a lot of our someone who spends a lot of time praying, right? A lot of churches, a lot of mosques, praying and connecting. You go to India, you'll see they go to the temple, they pray. Then in Kali Yuga, it said in the Vedas, the process is through nad, the yoga of sound vibration. So by chanting sacred names of God. So I grew up in a Christian culture, right, in Belize, and I'd see the nuns with their rosary, right? And that means they're doing the actions to burn off the negative karma, burn off the debt. And then when I got to yoga, my teacher, not my, but the ashram teacher, gifted me a mala. Okay, here's a mala. Chant God's names, right? I was like, oh, wow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, right? So then oh, the nuns are doing this. Then as I would travel through Asia, I would come across a lot of Buddhist monks, and the monks are doing. Then you come across my Muslim friends in India, right? They also have their little mala and they do their prayers. So every spiritual culture gets it. It's true. Your mind, our mind can burn off the negative karmas in our minds from the subconscious mind through sacred songs. So chanting God's name. Another way we burn off the negative karma is studying Swadhyaya, studying the ancient texts, the sacred texts. Now we have to also remember who's translating those texts, because if the translation is watered down or misrepresented, it's going to create a more
Mental
negative.
Bad
modification.
karma.
So that's why I like Srila Prabhupada translations to a lot of the Vedic texts, because I've read over like 11 versions of the Gita, and I always get different meanings from it. Like when I read Prabhupada's, because Prabhupada gives you the original Sanskrit, word for word translation. So you know he's not misrepresenting it. I can go translate and make it my own. People get benefit, but it's not the essence of the teachings, right? How it should be. So yeah, so studying the ancient texts that are bona fide translated,
Mhm.
right? I grew up as a Christian, so many versions of the Bible. Then who put together the books? So many, so uh, so yeah, so study texts that are not diluted. Then association. The fundamental is the action of association. Like you're creating this beautiful podcast platform. So those who listen are going to be associating with you. And that's we call it Sangha, right? As you associate with people on a certain vibration who have burnt off their karma or are burning off their karma, you associate with them,
Mhm.
you start to do what they do, the swadaya, the japa, all the different practices, which helps us to then transcend the law of karma. Because,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
one thing's also right. Then I guess we are talking about making right choices in
Mhm.
life, right? Then it also probably comes from the type of lifestyle you have. You know, if you're someone who is consuming a lot of alcohol or drugs, I guess you probably cannot make very good decisions in life. What do you think about that?
So that just tells us we are covered by the 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 Prarabdha karma is being controlled by the mode of tamas or the mode of ignorance. Now, if the same person puts himself in an atmosphere that is in the mode of goodness, right? Environment affects us.
Mhm.
uh, and I can speak for myself. When I got to India, I was in places that were in the mode of goodness. So there, no one was around me. No one was drinking. No
Mhm.
one was smoking meat. No one was eating meat. No one was smoking. No one was, everyone. So the environment helps.
Mhm.
So we have to use the intelligence that speaks to us inside. And oh, if I want to help myself, let me find that sangha. Let me find that environment. And then, but it's so hard when we're stuck. It is so hard to use the free will to go into the mode of goodness environment, because it's very easily to be surround ourselves with the mode of tamas and rajas, the mode of ignorance and passion.
Mhm.
So to come to the mode of goodness, it takes a hard work, a willpower inside to drive you. And for some people, sometimes there's a saying in the West where people have to hit rock bottom. I think that's a saying.
Mhm.
Wow, I'm gonna die. I have to do something to drastically. So sometimes the karma that the soul has, they need to hit rock bottom, and then they can come out and find a mode of goodness and the right association.
So that brings my question about, so if we each have our own karma, but then we are interacting with each other, does one person's karma affect your, like, how does that interact? You know, like, am I being drawn by this person's, because they're like stronger, and I'm being drawn this way, or is it meant to be that I'm meant to be? Yeah, it's kind of a confusing
So
question.
Prarabdha karma is like predestined, like I explained, your
Mhm.
age, your height, your
Yes.
complexion, right? Predestined. So we get the human of all the species, the human developed stage, the human form is a rare birth.
Mm.
That when you see another human, we understand the soul in that body has done a lot of work through aquatics, through birds, through trees, all the different species. They did a lot of work somehow or the other. We use the phrase somehow or the other. We are in the human form. But we should know we've all done a lot of work to get this human form. And then when you get this human form, yes, it's a human karma. So whatever I do as a human, it affects all the humans on this planet
Right.
mentally. It affects the plants
Mhm.
because we have an interrelationship with the plants on our planet. As I exhale, the plants use my carbon dioxide. That's a karmic reaction. They turn that carbon into oxygen. So I have a karma with the plant kingdom. I have a karma with the person. So now this is their to answer your question, Kate.
Mhm.
Yeah, 8.67 billion people. Me and you, we won't meet them all. But the air you're exhaling right now will be mutated, and someone in Japan is going to breathe it, someone in Jamaica is going to breathe it, someone in Turkey is going to breathe it later on. So
Mhm.
that's how we have the human karma. So we will connect to them through the breath. But then all of a sudden, because of where we are born and where we choose to live on the earth, the country karma, then you're going to meet certain people you're going to see again and again and again. So that tells us the people we meet again and again and again, most likely we met them before in previous karma. So our family members, right? Our mom
Mhm.
and dad and siblings, and definitely that bond you have with them,
Mhm.
you had to work out more work with those souls. Then those people who you go to work and you see every day, you worked with them previously, right? But not as close as the family, right? And then there are going to be some humans who you just brush in the train or the street.
Mhm.
That's also karmic.
Mm.
Right? Everything is the law. There's not one action that me or you does that is not the universe. God doesn't know, right? So as we go through life, we want to make sure. So then when we know that there's an action to every action, when we deal with another human being, if we can understand, oh, this human is making so many mistakes. We understand this human is covered by the mode of tamas and rajas. But we simultaneously understand this human did a lot of work to get this human birth. Because in the human karma, we can ask ourselves, who am I?
Mhm.
What is this universe?
Mhm.
And Vyasadeva, the self-realized sage who breaks down the karma and everything for us, he writes that in the human form, we have both pleasure and distress on this earth planet. So he says, when you're in the heavenly planets, the karma takes us up there. It's a lot of pleasure. When you're always happy, you don't really think about God. If you go to the hellish planets, a lot of suffering there. When you're suffering, you just want to get out of suffering.
Mm.
But when you come to the Burman, the earth planet, we have both happiness and distress. And so we can really contemplate, oh, wow, who am I? What is this universe? Is there a God? These are questions that the karma, all our actions and reactions from the Sanchita should lead us to these questions. Who am I?
Mhm.
Am I my brain?
Mm.
Am I my mind and thoughts and emotions? Am I my nervous system? Am I male? Am I female? Who am I?
Mm.
right? So all the karmas, so to burn off all the karma is to get to this point,
Mm.
go on the path of self-realization, the journey to self-realization.
So
Wow.
I'm going to use a little bit of a yoga terminology here. And for those who are listening, some of you are familiar, some of you are not. And we don't have a lot of time to really break it down. We're going to need you back soon, Yogi Charu.
We
But
might.
so we understand that we have this Purusha, which is the pure soul, who is witnessing, right? And then we have the Prakriti, which is who is the doer, who is the material aspect of our beingness, our mind, our body, and our ego, and all that. So from this, I'm understanding that, all the actions we do, so that all lives in, the karma lives in the Prakriti aspect of our being. So when we are realizing, there's a soul within, separate from the doer,
Prakriti.
right?
Mhm.
So is that like, how do I break the cycle? Is that the realization I need to, like, how does the breaking of cycle of karma works? If I can separate myself from the doer aspect, does that make sense?
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful point. So to separate it then, like I like how you use the phrase Purusha and Prakriti. So remember the action and reaction is going through the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, right? Then works through our mind. Someone is thinking about it. Oh, I'm going to go for exercise. They think it first, then they put on their shoes, socks, then they move the elements, earth, the body moves after. So every action we do with the physical body made up of the elements first starts in the mind. So then my mind, right, and is still part of the prakriti, the material energy. Now, when we do meditation or we close the eyes and we say, gaze into the center of the eyebrows. Who's gazing? It's not the mind. No, it's you, the Purusha, who's witnessing the mind. Now, as you start to get that clearer and clearer, you understand, wait, in the Vyasadeva said, because we are a spiritual being, we are one with God. Separate simultaneously, we are separate, we are different from God. So we are one in quality, we're spiritual. We're different in quantity. So our senses then, as we, oh, I am a spiritual being, I have spiritual eyes, spiritual nose, spiritual, I have a spiritual body. Then as you pull back from the prakriti, then you understand, oh, I'm still going to use the body that was gifted to me, but instead of pleasing my senses, I'm going to use my body to please the senses of the divine being who created this universe. So this is called engaging your senses in the service of divinity. So that's the terminology of how you
So
break
this,
the cycle.
got it.
You break the consciousness. Because if we're thinking, this is how I'll create new karma. I'm going to enjoy my life, me, myself, and I. That's how you create new karma. So how you break the karma is, oh, I'm going to enjoy my life, but I'm going to enjoy it in connection with the divine being who created this whole universe, right? It's like the five senses, they work together, and we have to know how to please each senses. But you can't separate them. If you pull them apart, they start to lose some of their power. So our sense, so a tree, you have a tree and the leaf. The leaf is getting enough nourishment when the water comes through the root. But if the leaf thinks, I want my own water, and the leaf cuts itself and fell on the ground. No, you're so karma, new karma is built because we're disconnecting ourselves from the divinity who created all of this. So yeah.
So when we do any action, then the thought process or the intention that we put that action, what intention and where is that intention originating from? Is
The
it
atma
for
from the
me?
spiritual being.
Right?
Yes. From you.
That's the difference, right? Am I just trying to serve myself?
Yes.
That I call
Am I going to do it to serve
Mhm.
God and the planet and the universe, right? See,
yes,
as soon as we think of ourselves as the enjoyer, that's the problem.
that's the problem.
As soon as you have the wealthy person, they have a servant, and the servant cleans the house, everything. And then one day the owner goes on vacation for 2 weeks. And then the servant lies on the sofa and the bed. Oh yeah, this is mine. That's an illusion. So, oh no, there are so that's what starts the karma. But then the yogi said, this whole universe, we are thinking, however, any incarnation we take, we are trying to think that I am
The doer.
the doer, the owner.
Mhm.
So as soon as we like, wait, I'm not the doer, I'm not the owner. Who owns the air? Who created my eyeballs? Who created? How did? Oh, that let me connect to that person,
Mhm.
and then we start to do everything to serve divinity. And as we do that, then what happens? God gets happy, divinity gets happy, I get happy, everyone around us gets happier.
Thank you. I just pulled out actually from Bhagavad Gita this verse that it's exactly what you were talking about, 317. Actions done in devotion do not bind the soul. In
Yeah.
other words, releases the karma.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's so much more to talk, so
I
many more questions,
know.
but we
I
don't
have
have the
so many questions. I know, but we're out of time. What are we going to do? Will you come back and talk some
Of
more?
course. Yeah.
Okay.
In the future, definitely. Of
Thank
Okay.
you
course.
so much,
I
Yogi
love your
Charu.
questions. Yeah.
Thank you. Before we leave, we do give ourselves an homework.
Yes, our
Homework.
homework. So what
Yeah.
So,
should be our homework?
yes, Kate, are you thinking of any homework for this week based on our conversations on karma?
Well, I think I'm try to do this all the time, but I'll try especially hard now is to just remember everything is in service, you know. I try to think that every day in every situation, but this is just a good reminder that I'll continue. Everything is in service to divinity, everything. It's sort of like a mantra. Yeah, that's my
That's,
homework.
yeah. It's funny you said, I'm going to do this hard. Let's do this easy.
Oh yeah, okay. It's easy. It's easy.
Let's
It's
make it easier.
just a thought.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm going to be more, I'm going to pause, right? That's something I think we do so automatically, certain things, without really thinking about all the consequences of our actions. So I'm going to pause more
Yeah,
to not just go with the reactionary mode,
yeah.
even
Mm.
when I speak, when I respond, especially to the people close to me, because that becomes real automatic sometimes.
Yeah.
Actually, that can I just say one more thing? Because that what you said, Yogi Charu, about noticing that every human being has done so much work to be in this body, it just immediately makes you have compassion for
Yes.
every human being. So that's a wonderful way to think about it too, to ignite your compassion.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. It's a great.
Thank you. Yeah, and also brings up the animals and the plants and everything else that r- so much more
Living. You're
respect.
sharing the planet karma with them.
Yes, exactly. That's how we care for each other and the planet. Thank you.
Mhm.
This was such a wonderful conversation, and we are really grateful to you. We are grateful you are in our lives, and we are
Yes.
grateful that you showed up to share your wisdom with others as well.
And it is vice versa. I'm grateful to have my karma or three karmas brought us together. And then those who are going to listen to the podcast, grateful to have met you as well through sound vibration. Look forward to seeing you all again.
Thank
Definitely.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Hariom. That's
Bye bye.
Hariom.
Kate,
Let's
would you
get
do
a bit of
our
music to say goodbye. Let's see if it's working. Oh, sound vibration.
Yes.
Bye bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for
Thank
listening.
you. Bye bye.